Alright, so let's review Justice League, which is the last DCEU movie I will review. I reviewed Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, and Wonder Woman in this one, and I recently, whenever they came out, reviewed Aquaman and Shazam. So I've reviewed all the DCEU movies, and after this review I will do a ranking video of ranking the DCEU with Derek from Derek's Horror Corner. Really excited for that, because we have different thoughts as well with these movies, so I like how they're gonna be different in our rankings. But today let's talk about Justice League. Justice League is a very, very interesting first ensemble movie for DC. It introduces three main new characters into the movie itself, into the universe, which are Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg. And they do a fine enough job, honestly, putting them in this movie and not having them in any others, essentially. I mean, they were in, like, cameos in the other ones, but they weren't, like, full characters. This movie also had a problem with being kind of in a weird development stage, because Zack Snyder, who directed this movie for the most part, had a real-life horrific tragedy happen to him during this, so he had to walk away, and Joss Whedon finished reshoots and everything, and Joss Whedon, I guess, is very classy because he didn't put his name, of course, in front of Zack Snyder's, because even whoever did the more work, I feel like Zack Snyder probably did. I'm glad that Zack Snyder still got the name recognition as the director, because he did suffer, whether you like his movies or not, he suffered a horrible loss during this movie, so I feel incredibly awful that what happened to him happened, and I wish the best for him. I know that's been a couple of years since that happened, but I really do think this is a fascinating movie, because you can tell, like, it's two different movies. They actually do kind of try to make this feel like it's one movie, but you can still tell. But it's not bad, really. It's just you can tell it's two different types of directors. Like, you can tell Zack Snyder with his visual imagery, you can tell with Joss Whedon with the humor, with the Flash character especially, with how he is. So it's a very interesting hybrid of a movie. But honestly, like, I like this one, but ranking this is going to be really low, this one, because I mean, I like some of the characters for the most part, but my biggest negative is that the villain, Steppenwolf, is immediately and incredibly forgettable. There is nothing to this character at all. He's just bad guy. Like, there's no character to him. There's no... And I know that people are going to say, wait, what about the Marvel movies? Marvel movies do that too. And yeah, I get that too, but I don't know, maybe I might put this over, like, Malekith from Thor the Dark World, because he's a forgettable villain as well. The only thing I'd put over Malekith than this guy is that this guy, Steppenwolf, has really just crazy-ass CGI where it's not very good. It's really bad. In some spots, the CG is not very good. So it's weird that this villain, who doesn't have any character to him, he just says bad guy things, and he's got bad CGI. It's a real downer of the movie, unfortunately. So the villain really does kind of suck. And Ciarán Hinds voices him, so I don't... Yeah, he's a good actor, and I don't get why he didn't have much to work with, though, to be fair, so that makes sense. So the plot of this movie is that Batman and Wonder Woman try to find these superhuman beings that were on Lex Luthor's data files from Batman v Superman and make a team. Because Batman has a hunch that something is going to happen. Because if you watch the Batman v Superman Ultimate Cut, Lex Luthor actually released Steppenwolf out. Like, he created Steppenwolf, and Steppenwolf went out, and, like, Lex Luthor went to prison. So you have Steppenwolf be the villain of this movie, while Lex Luthor's not in this movie, except for the end credits. Which is good, because I couldn't fucking stand Lex Luthor in Batman v Superman. I wonder if the next time he's in a movie fully, he'll be better, but man, Jesse Eisenberg had one of the most interesting and perplexing, like, performances in any superhero movie that I did not like in Batman v Superman. It was insane. So, and it's weird because this one, this one also has the problem of Superman dying, but his, like, at the end of Batman v Superman, the dirt levitated on the grave, so you know he's coming back. And they don't even try to hide it. Like, he's got his name is like in the he's second credited on the credits. Like, Henry Cavill is after Ben Affleck on the credits in the movie, so you know he's coming back. Um, but yeah, I just think that it sucks that they did it that way, because it's like, oh, it would have been maybe a better mystery if, like, Superman did come back and they didn't have his name in the credits, but you show it in the credits right at the beginning, so it kind of ruins the surprise for anybody who obviously can look at credits. So yeah, but I'll give it this positive. I think Henry Cavill is better in this movie than he was in Man of Steel and most of Batman v Superman. I really actually like him in this movie. He actually felt a little more like Superman, and I haven't read the comics, but he feels like he's more of a little more of like the Superman that is embedded in pop culture, where like he's the happy, nice, heroic Superman in this one. So yeah, the plot the plot is fine. It's totally serviceable. I do think the plot is totally fine, even though the villain sucks. The characters are fine. The interactions between them are fine. I actually do like these characters and their interactions, because Joss Whedon, who did the Avengers, the first two, he does a good job with characters, and other things he's done. He does a great job with characters, and I can tell the difference with his work in this as opposed to Zack Snyder, who again is for me more of a visual director than a writing director. So it's interesting to see Joss Whedon doing his writing, because I do like Joss Whedon's writing. And his characters, like especially the Flash, I think is really fun and funny. I think he's a really likable character. I like Aquaman too as well. Like, he's great in this, and in the movie Aquaman after this, he's awesome as well. And Cyborg is the one that's just forgettable. He's fine, but there's nothing to him. He doesn't have much dialogue. He doesn't have much emotion. I mean, I know he's a cyborg, but you can give him some more than that. And that actor, I feel bad for him, because I'm like, he could have had some more that they could have given him to work with. But he's serviceable. He's fine. Wonder Woman again is great. Batman, Ben Affleck again is great. Superman is better than he was in the last two. So I do like how this one started, even though it's definitely not as good as Wonder Woman. Not in any way is it as good as Wonder Woman. It still has some moving cogs that are moving it towards a better DC product. Because even though the villain sucks, the characters do have likable banter. They're fun. They're likable. It's just, this one is just not very. Again, it's a hybrid of two different directors. But it's just honestly forgettable. Like, it's one of the more forgettable DCEU movies. Like, because they have the team up, but they team up against a bland villain. And Superman, is he going to come back? Is he going to come back? Yeah, because his name is in the credits, so you don't get any surprises in the movie either. So they fight a bland villain and Superman comes back, but you know he's coming back. So it's weird. The movie just feels forgettable to me, with, like, there's not much to it. Like, there's no surprises because you already know the surprises. The villain sucks, but the cast and characters are colorful and fun, and even more than the last two Batman and Superman movies, they are way more colorful and way more charming, especially with the new characters who are integrated in fine. So I enjoy Justice League. Overall, it's just a weird hybrid of a movie. Like, I do enjoy it despite having some issues with it, but it's not my least favorite, but it's definitely low on my ranking. So that's my thoughts on Justice League. Tell me down below what you think of this movie, and thank you guys so much for watching.